Hello, this is DK. This is a remake of my first episode. So, you want good noses. I'd recommend going to Google, putting in Sketchfab, or searching up an image of whatever thing you're replicating. Or just using aircraft as a thing of reference, like if you want to make a jet, use an F-15 and F-18 or something as like a background. If you want inspiration for jet ideas, I'd recommend looking up like fighter jet, interceptor, fighter, whatever, just keywords like that. You'll find stuff that you don't know what it is. Look at the label of the image. It'll usually have a name in there. If you can't find it, reverse image search it so you can find more. I'm gonna just start building an F-104 like I did in my first one. I haven't actually played this game in like a super long time, but I'm just gonna do what I remember best. So usually I recommend using hinges a lot on the nose. Um, since I haven't played this game in a while, I won't have that much block knowledge, but it's okay. Also, I'd recommend using a motorcycle seat because you can make the things odd. So I'm just gonna do this for now, and then I'm gonna show you what wedges can look like if they're done right. And they had a logic update since I've last been here, so I mean, that's cool. I haven't seen any of this, but like if I go to build mode, right, it's gonna angle in just a little bit, right? So right now I'm just gonna pull up images of the F-104. I might even put an F-104 and then blueprint afterwards, and it'll show me something called orthographic images of the plane. Basically, you see how I have FOV right here? Like if I look from here, right, the blocks kind of look like bended or whatever, and it's like weird in angles, right? Orthographic just absolutely fixes that. So like you can see how I can see this angle here, but not this angle here, right? Orthographic would make it so you'd be able to see this angle here and that angle here. It's just basically zero FOV, infinitely far away. It's really hard to explain to people who don't understand that, but yeah. Okay. And every single time you duplicate these hinges, you need to like remove their controls. It's like really annoying. But I'm just going to make the aesthetic part of the nose because I don't really remember most of the other stuff. Also, what I would recommend doing is, so you don't have collision, I recommend using inverted wedges that you angle in at your desired angle. So if I'm going to do this, boom, and then I would do this, right? So you can see how they're all angling in there. Even maybe I do that on the top one. And what I could do actually is do something where where was the pipes? Like I put like a pipe in there. I forgot where they put that at. Right? So I would take a pipe and then I could put armor like shields on the top, right? And I can put a flat connector because I don't think that these things have collision, if I remember correctly. And so I can just use this, right? Maybe make it a little bit longer. And hell, even on the sides I could do this. Where I just kind of... Actually, I'm going to make these 1x3 so that I can have more things. So I can leave room for blocks around here, right, to fit into the holes down here. So it's still somewhat difficult to explain, but like if I were to like put that there, it's going to clip a little bit on the end, but it looks a little bit silly right now. But if I were to like increase the angle on the top or whatever, maybe to like 8 degrees, I think. Yeah, and so I'm gonna look at the orthographic side of the F-104, and I notice, well, I think this nose should be a little bit longer. Right, so this is just basic nose shaping on how I would tend to do it. Now, I actually don't have that like much of a planned thing for how I'm gonna make this. I'm just kind of making it as I go. Shit. Go. Oh, well, that's a bug. Okay. Yeah, this is just completely raw, just me here, just remaking the first one. That actually got a good bit of views, and also I'm gonna leave comments on this one. But like, yeah, so as I can see, that's maybe a little bit too long. So now I'm just going to just take one of these off, right? And so if I were to do this with 1x4 wedges, it would look a lot more just steep in there. It wouldn't get the nose shape right. So, yeah, that's why I usually do that. And then, another thing you could do is to kind of fill in the holes in the edges. You can. Do they put the lights in here? Where did they move the lights? Okay, gadgets. Um, you can use these. They're a little bit like shorter and thinner, or whatever. Obviously, I'm gonna have some trouble connecting it, but you can actually, since there's room in here, I can just do this and then, or well, I'm gonna do it on the top one. There. So like I would take this, right, and I would kind of have these here. Um, but I think there's some clipping issue. Maybe. I don't know. Also, your for your hinges not being able to like glitch. Yeah, so sometimes hinges can glitch into each other, sometimes they can't. That's just kind of um how Trailmakers is. It's really weird with hinges. So maybe for like this one I would structure this differently, but that's basically the whole gist of my video, right? And I would go on and maybe you could shape the cockpit either using like fixed wedges, right? Or I'm gonna go into my crafts. Don't mind those things. And right, I would which one with a good nose? Right, so I would do like one whole angle on the top for an F-18. Don't mind here. I'm gonna delete that. But like I would do one whole angle for the nose, for the top, to get the F-18's kind of shape, right? And then from top down, I also try making it look good. I don't know what's going on with the hinges there, don't mind that, but that's not the point, right? And so for the cockpit, as you can see here, I have two angles here, and it just so happens that with the F-18, the canopy bar is angled like that, right? So I would leave the back one angled like that, and I would use the pipe off of that, and then I could make both angles off of that. And that's just one example, right? And I'm gonna cut ahead here. Alright, so this is the finished MiG-31 from the first video that I had showed in the thumbnail, right? It has all the working flaps. I don't use gyros because that makes planes like really overpowered. They just turn on a dime. It's no fun for anyone, right? Um, I did a lot of angles for this thing throughout the whole thing. I was having some trouble getting hinges to glitch properly, so I ended up, you know, like on the side, there's some holes up at, like behind the canopy. By the way, the canopy is this part where the pilot sits in. The intakes are these side things, right? The wings are these, you should all know that. The fuselage is just the main structure. Like, under the canopy you see here, it's just the main, like, kind of pipe of the thing. The exhaust are the engines back here. Vertical stabilizers are the stabilizers that go vertically. Horizontal are these horizontal ones. Sometimes I get those mixed up. Um, and then, yeah, so you can see on the nose here from top down, it goes in on the side. And then from the side view, it also goes down. So it makes for a really, really nice shaped nose. Plus, when you put paint and decals on it, it looks really nice. And even for this pitot tube at the end, I do a hinge. So you can go crazy on the hinges, but I would recommend only using them at the really curvy parts of the build, just like here. But for the rest, try keeping it as simple as possible. That's usually how hinge glitches will work good. Or, I mean, maybe there's a new Trailmakers update that makes it to where they work all over the place now or something. And as you can see, it's a pretty old build, by the way, that all of the engines are in here, mini thrusters. I think there's like rockets or something that are better now. But, yeah. Alright. Bye-bye.